Today, for Thursday, August 20th, we continued Uglies for our 40-book challenge, reading pages 14 to 20. Today we talked about, again, that limited third-person omnipresent narrator. We know that authors use different types of narrators to tell stories so that you have more information than just what your protagonist or main character can give you. So the third-person limited omnipresent narrator gives the reader the insight on what's happening, even if the protagonist isn't there or doesn't have knowledge of the event. So I put this little link in here that you can get to by clicking our link to the slide presentation on Classroom, and it talks more in depth about different third-person narrators. But again, this is a great way to get the point of view of someone other than your protagonist or main character. Okay, a lot of times that's what's going to give it away as a third-person narrator is use of words like he or she, him, right? Pronouns, all right? Whereas first-person narratives are told from the point of view of the protagonist, and so it's going to use words like I or we, okay? So your job was to determine today the book that you are reading for your 40-book challenge on your own. What type of narrator does your book have? We didn't really talk too much about the second person narrator. That is going to be if someone is directly speaking to the reader using the word you. So generally those are like how-to guides. So first you need to do this, then you need to do that when you're trying to teach someone how to do something. So those were all the different types of narrators we discussed, really focusing on Uglies having a third-person narrator. Today we found out that Tally actually finds Paris when she crashes the black and white tie party. She gets traced by the pretties. They're trying to chase her down because she looks like a pig. And she ends up in the elevator with Paris. We learned a lot more about what the operation did and why they do it. So why do they turn uglies into pretties? Well, basically they said it's biology, it's evolution. Our brain subconsciously finds things attractive in people. For example, big eyes, big lips, and so they have made everyone look that way because it says I am healthy, I am someone that is safe, and I would make a good spouse, a good mate. This is what they teach the people in Uglytown or Uglyville, and this is why they do the operation. We found out too when Tally runs into Paris that he doesn't have his scar anymore for when they became blood buddies, so that we know his entire skin is replaced. So this sounds like a pretty extensive operation. We also know that he kind of thinks that she's still little and still a kid. During this conversation, Tally's mask disappears. It gets recycled into the elevator, and so she has no way of escaping. And Paris tells her she's going to have to bungee jump off of the building. So some of the vocabulary words that we came up with: symmetrical, evolution, vulnerable, biology, halt, bogus, unblemished, adhesive, pursuers, bemusement, indifferently. So your job was to pick two of those today and look them up, finding what part of speech they are. Is it a noun? Is it a verb? Is it an adjective? Is it an adverb? Finding the definition. What does the word mean? Using that word in a sentence and then drawing a picture to help you remember what the word means. I also asked today that you tune into interesting words while you were doing your own reading. So you should have been looking for what type of narrator your 40-book challenge has, and also as you're reading tonight for homework, your 20 minutes, you should also be looking for interesting words to build up your vocabulary. You can be writing them in your book with a highlighter or on a sticky if you don't feel comfortable writing in a book, finding out what those words mean and adding them to your own vocabulary to make you a better reader. So again, if this was your vocabulary notebook, you have your date of entry, the word you're looking up, the part of speech, you're defining it, using it in a sentence, and then drawing a picture. Again, second word, part of speech, define it, use it in a sentence, and then draw a picture to help you remember the meaning of that word. If you're finding words in your own book, you're writing down stickies or highlighting directly in your book, you should be, again, using a dictionary, going online to find the meaning of those words, or even just using inferencing skills and context clues to help you figure out what those words mean.